But by comparison to what young people face today, it was very different. We had completely free education right through to university level. We had completely free NHS. We had access to work and reasonable wages with great rapidity and speed. There was a sense of security and certainty for many young people. And you had these voices, these chattering voices in the background saying the idea of a welfare state, the idea of unemployment benefit, the idea of pensions, the idea of real social security saps the moral fibre of the nation, and what we need to do is get rid of all of that. Those siren voices that we were hearing in the popular press were the same mentality that was developing the whole idea of neoliberal economics throughout the 1970s. Reagan in California, Thatcher in Britain, Keith Joseph in Britain, and various others, and Milton Friedman in Chile, where they imposed the most brutal monetarist regime on the people already being occupied by the Chilean army, having killed the government of Salvador Allende and those brilliant people. So those voices are the people that did so much to try and destroy the hopes of generations. Those voices that brought Thatcher into power in 1979, brought on the onslaught onto the coal industry, brought on the privatization of mail, rail, brought on the privatization of gas and water and electricity, and brought in all the anti-trade union laws and the public order bills to prevent demonstrations and so on. And so when you're in the midst of some of these great struggles, it isn't always obvious what the great surges of history are. But there are crucial moments in battles when you've got to pick sides. When the government of Margaret Thatcher went after the miners in 1984, she did it on the back of the 1983 election victory. I was very proud to be elected for this constituency, and I've got the manifesto I put out at that time, and I've got the maiden speech that I made in Parliament that summer, and I stand by every single word of what I said at that time. She then came after the miners, and the strike took place. It was bitter, it was long, and our community around here, most people around here have never seen a coal mine. There are obviously no mines in the area, but that sense of solidarity with the mining communities was massive. We set up the Islington Support the Miners campaign. We raised, I estimate, around £100,000 for the miners. That was an awful lot of money in 1984-85, from check-off payments for council workers and others who were donating 25 pence a week and things like that to the miners. And the government went after the miners' union, sequestered all its funds, tried to close down its operation, and so we had to then set up almost a parallel system to support the miners' families, because the government also forced legislation through Parliament, during which we stopped parliamentary proceedings by occupying the Mace to prevent it being used to put through. They were trying to put through legislation to prevent social security payments going to feed the children of miners' families. They were trying to starve them back to work. And that's why we set up this parallel system. And I've got a very vivid memory of getting the train from Finsbury Park, often do, down to King's Cross, carrying a co-op carrier bag. It was full, this co-op carrier bag, and it had some papers on top of it to disguise what was in it. I then went into the gentlemen's toilets at St Pancras Station, as you do, and I took this bag in with me into a cubicle, as you do, and I inadvertently mislaid it and left it there. The next person who went in, picked up the bag and went out with it. That